Okay, so here's one of the things that I particularly like SketchUp for, is that, you know, the pieces I showed you that were our supports to our drawer or our cabinet ended up getting in the way and showing. So we need to come back and redraw the thickness of this frame around here. Well, working in SketchUp, you can solve all those problems before you actually start building, and that's one of the reasons I really like it. If you've built many things, you know, you can do all the measurement and planning you want, and when you start actually building the product, you'll come up with something like, oop, got to make a change in my design. And it's much harder to do that in the middle of the process rather than to have it in the beginning design. I want that surface to be white like the rest of it, so I left click, right click, reverse face, and there we go. Now, there's my first drawer. And what I can do now is, since the overlap on the outside drawers is unique, what I can do here is, if I just click on that, and I'm going to use my move tool again, click on the corner, hit Control for duplicate, slide it across, and the side that's thicker or sticks out more for going clear to the edge as opposed to the shorter edge is on the wrong side. But if I right click, flip along the red line, it reversed those two. Now I can take the corner and bring this back into place and have that drawer so that it has the same kind of overlap with space in the center for the edges that I want. All right, and then the other thing that I need to do is, now I need to click on this, and I'm going to click so I just get the inner drawer space here. Okay. Now I'm going to do that a little different. Okay, I'm going to click on one here, and when it's highlighted, I'm going to right click, and I want to make it unique. Since I duplicated this one, if I'm not careful, I'll end up making all kinds of copies I don't want. So I made it unique now. I'm going to click on the front of the drawer front so I get the front highlighted that I created. And the front is not a component, so I'm going to have to go in here and highlight all the surfaces. Okay, so I should have them all. Make the frame, drawer frame, and make sure you click replace that section. Okay, so those are now components, and I'm going to get rid of them for right now. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to hide them. Means I'm not deleting them, just getting them out of view and out of sight. All right, now what I can do is come in and click on my drawer I've got here, and I think I'm going to go ahead and even going to eliminate this outer frame for now. There we do. So I can just see my drawer shape with my clearance in there. See, there's a piece missing here for the moment, so I'm going to go back, and generally if there's just a piece missing, if you draw in one of the sides, it'll fill it back in as it did. Okay. And I don't need all these lines in here right now, so I'm going to delete those for now, because I just want the drawer, inner drawer only. Okay, so there's our drawer component. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it and move it over here now, and hit the M key, click the corner, hit the Control key for a duplicate, slide it over, make sure I keep it on the red line. Okay, I'm going to move in closer so that I can work with positioning it so that I can see my spacing is even. Okay, there we go. Now, what I'm going to do is I want this drawer to be separate from this one. Since I made it as a duplicate, it is not separate yet. If I keep clicking, so I'll get to the point where I highlight everything. I don't want that. So I'm going to re-highlight this one now after I clicked on the outside. Right click and make it unique also. Okay. Now what I can do is duplicate it and move it over. Keep it on the red line. Get the spacing even. That looks good. Okay, so there's my 4 drawers. Now what I'm going to do is go up to Edit and unhide the last. So it gives me the drawer fronts back on. Okay, now what I have to do is I have to make these drawer fronts unique and change the sides again so that I get my spacing correct in the center. And I could spend some more time doing that right now, but I've shown you how to do that in the past, and I think you can probably figure out how to do that. So I don't particularly want to spend the time doing it right now. But what I want to do show you is here's our cabinet and our cabinet sections. I've also got drawer pulls that I haven't put on here right now. But I can click on one of these, the one here, hit my move tool, grab it right next to the line, and slide that drawer out. So again, I can see my cabinet. I can see how my drawer fits, that my slides are right, I have the spacing right, and everything is lined and ready to go. Now, the final part you can do once you get your cabinet made is then you can take and start really planning your pieces and your parts that you would be cutting on your saw. And the way you would do that, let's say I'm going to highlight this, I'm going to highlight this, I'm going to come back to that component. Excuse me, get it, there we go. And once I have that component by itself, I'm going to hit M or use my move tool again.